go, guys. Come on, guys, let's go. Come on, guys, let's go. Hi, guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm the cat gardener. My name is Diana, and I have a mini urban garden here in St. Louis, which is Zone 7A. Today, I wanted to talk to you about the most difficult vegetables that I think there is to grow out there, and that's the family of cucurbits, which is like cucumbers, melons, and zucchini. The problem is that you have to grow them early in the summer, but not too early because they're very afraid of the cold. And then you have to keep succession planting them because that one plant is not going to endure for the entire summer. And when you start succession planting them later into summer, like July and August, it gets so intensely hot here in St. Louis that the cucumber beetles and the squash bugs just proliferate and they're just going to town on all these precious crops that you planted. And I've dealt with so much decimation this summer that I wanted to share some tricks with you that I found that has worked for me a little bit. So come along and see. This is my cantaloupe, and it's my last attempt at making a cantaloupe this season. I failed many times because I didn't start early enough. So when I was starting in July and August, I just got failed attempt after failed attempt because every time I started one, the babies would just get taken out by cucumber beetles and squash bugs. This one, I finally got it to grow to a decent size because I planted it last month when the pest pressure was decreasing as the temperatures started to drop. But occasionally I still see cucumber beetles out there, so I know they're there. And that's why for my last ultimate effort, I am trying to use this barrier method to prevent them from eating the leaves. It's called the kaolin clay, and once they eat it, they hate the taste of it, and they should avoid eating your plant. So let me show you how I applied it. This is the kind of clay that you generally want to use for gardening. It's called Surround, and I'll post a link below where I got mine from. It's a powder, and you want to mix it with water. So I use like an empty milk container to do mixing in, and you just have to shake it afterwards. So this is the sprayer that I'm going to use. I just got it. It's a simple sprayer, hand sprayer that I got from Home Depot. Put on gloves. I probably should have had gloves on in the beginning, just because the stuff is, it's like diatomaceous earth. So it's a bit like, it really dries out your skin if you touch it too much. It's not caustic or anything, but it's just kind of drying, and I guess it's best to protect skin. So let's do this. Okay. So I'm just transferring the mixture. And I don't think I'm going to use all of this, so I'm going to keep it just in case we get more rain and I need to reapply. This can last, the instructions say it can last for 2 weeks, so I'm just going to keep the rest in here. I worry that if I keep it in here for like 2 weeks, it could like maybe clog up if there's, little clots in there. So I would prefer not to like clog up my little hand sprayer. So I like to, after I'm done applying, I like to rinse it out and then make sure that the inside plumbing part is also nicely rinsed out. So you do this to prime the tubing in there. And then I'm just gonna like try to spray it like delicately and not try to not get it on the precious flowers. I wouldn't want to get this clay inside the flowers and interfere with pollination by the bees. And I definitely want to protect the flowers as much as possible because we only have 1 month to try to make a baby melon. And I also have a cucumber that's still going okay. And I'm going to try to protect that as well. Like I was having no luck getting any cucumbers to grow July, August, June, yes, June was fine. But after that, all my succession planting had failed thanks to these terrible pests. They're terrible beings. Next year, what I'm going to do with cucumbers is, so for cucumbers, you can get like, I already get the kind that's like supposed to be resistant to these pests, but there's still problems. But there's other kinds you can get that are self-pollinating, and they're called parthenocarpic, I think. And so it means I can spray the crap out of these guys with this kaolin clay, even block the flowers from pollinating if I want to be so intense about it. But I don't need the bees to pollinate for me because they should be self-pollinating. Um, so I'll probably try that because it's nice to be able to get cucumbers throughout the summer, and I just couldn't do it in July, August this year. Now I want to show you a squash that seems to be quite resistant to the pests that I talked to you about. This is the hairy gourd. It's a type of Chinese squash, and don't be put off by the name. It just means that it's named hairy because it tends to be kind of fuzzy when it's young. I kind of find it very endearing though. And it's a little bit fuzzy even when it's mature. But it's really just a sweet little name, honestly, and it doesn't have any bearing on how it tastes. I love how it tastes. I used to eat it all the time when I was young, and I decided to grow it this year just for funsies. I didn't know if it would even like do well in the St. Louis summers, but it really has done well. As you can tell, I have a very big plant here. I have a big plant behind me, and I found that these cucumber beetles and squash bugs haven't really attacked them for the last month that I've been growing them. I did spray a little bit of that clay here because I wasn't sure in the beginning, but over time I realized that it was kind of unnecessary because I didn't see many of these bugs at all while they had been like vigorously attacking my cucumbers instead. Um, so today I'm going to do a harvest. I have a few little squashes that I think might be ready, and let's take a look. I'm here with my Roman zucchini, which I really enjoy growing each year because one, it's delicious when cooked with tomatoes and a pasta, and two, it's really fast growing. Like it goes from seed to a matured zucchini in 1 month. The thing about zucchinis and squash is that when people plant them, maybe they do one plant, but that one plant gives them a ton of growth to the point that they get sick of eating zucchinis and squash. So I found that, if you do it in ground, it's really prolific and it will definitely give you a ton of fruits. But this year I decided to do it in a container like this one. And I think that doing it in a container kind of slowed down the prolific growth of it, such that I'm getting maybe just one zucchini every few days, which for me is a very manageable amount, and I'm not getting sick of it at all. I actually am growing it vertically as well along this T-post, and I find that it's a really good way to manage the growth so that it's not like sprawling everywhere on the ground and it's hard to find the fruits of it. And I also think that it's a better way to um, make sure that the leaves aren't touching the ground and getting diseases like squash vine borers, which can definitely destroy your entire plant. And this way, it's much more manageable. And today we have two blooming flowers, and one is the female plant, and the other one is the male plant. And I'm going to do some manual pollination, and not for a lack of pollinators like bees or anything like that, but just because these flowers are big, so it's very easy to do the manual pollination. But it also guarantees that your female zucchini will continue to grow and become a mature zucchini. So a few days later, I found that this one has grown into matured zucchini, so it's time to take it off. I actually don't like to use my hands because it's very spiny. It's not just fuzzy, it's literally spiny. So I usually like to take a pair of scissors and cut it instead of trying to like snap it off with my bare fingers. Okay, there we go. All right, guys, let's see what we managed to harvest today. All right, so I have two hairy gourds, one Roman zucchini, some last of the season cherry tomatoes, some okra, and some green beans. So it's time to go eat now. Today's recipe is pasta with Roman zucchini and tomatoes. First, you're going to boil water for your pasta in a pot. And then you can start smashing your garlic. You can take off the ends of the Roman zucchini. You basically slice it lengthwise, and then you can cut it into thin little slices. For the tomatoes, we're going to use a combination of Samarzano and large cherry tomatoes, and that's because they're very juicy and they're very good for the sauce. So basically, you can slice it, dice it however you want. Next, heat up some olive oil in a pan and add garlic on a small to medium fire so that the olive oil doesn't burn. Then you can throw in your zucchini and toss it to get it nicely coated with the olive oil. After a few minutes of sauteing, you can now add your tomatoes and you want to toss it nicely to mix it all in. Cover the pan and let it cook on a small fire. Basically, while you wait for your pasta water to boil, you can check on your vegetables frequently and just toss it. When the water is finally boiling, you want to add 1 tablespoon of kosher or large sea salt to it. You add the pasta and let it boil for the amount of time instructed on the label. During that time, which is about like 10 minutes, you want to check on your vegetables every once in a while. If it gets too dry, just add water from the pasta water, about 1/4 cup at a time. And then at the end, you can salt it. When the pasta is done, you can drain it and add it to the veggies in the pan and mix well. Turn off the fire, and at that point, you can actually add a bit of olive oil to it to get it nicely glistening. And then at the end, you top with Parmigiano cheese. Enjoy! Alright guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like it, please subscribe to my channel, and leave me comments because I really enjoy being part of this growing community. I think that it's important that we support each other in each other's endeavors. I still have a lot to learn. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. That's it.